Okay, I'll share my screen now and I'll begin. Okay, Di, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I see it.
Perfect. So the reason for our meeting today is to go over the 3D joinery. As we know, some of the masters are very inconsistent in how the joinery is set up when it comes to the 3D, mainly with Urban Edge. 8 homes will still be are still the same, 2D, until the new version of the masters appear. Then you'll be transitioning to 3D joinery. So I'll show you right now a live job as an example on how the masters are currently how the team is currently drawing them, and I'll show you how we can improve on it. So at the moment, we have this job here, 129856. So at the moment, this is using one of our newer masters, and it's using 3D. This master has been set up for 3D. So if I go to the layout book to show you the kitchen joinery in particular. So we have, sorry, once it starts updating. So we currently have elevation 1, elevation 2, elevation 3, elevation 4 perfectly. Then we go to page 2, joinery page 2 for the prep room. Elevation 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one's here. Okay, in this one here, you'll find that there's missing items in it. So if I go to the joinery floor plan, you find that this island bench, there is also cabinetry on this side here, which we're not picking up. And there's also rear cabinetry behind the island bench on this design, which we're not picking up at all. Currently, what's been happening is, so I haven't opened up the CAD file that got sent to us with the errors on it. But what's happened is, so we have elevation for the kitchen. So elevation 6, which would be over here, because currently we only have 1, 2, 3, and 4. For elevation 6, what's been happening is if I go to, let's say, for example, elevation 1, which is the island bench. Sorry, ensuite, elevation 1. So elevation 1. There we go. So elevation 1. What's been happening is that the team would be grabbing line work or copying some lines, dragging them across, and drawing elevation 6 in 2D next to it, which is not the correct method. You're mixing up the two different styles of Urban Edge 3D and then the 8 homes version of the master, which is all in 2D. This causes issues that when we're making changes to plans, we're trying to find elevation 1 or elevation 6 or whichever elevation is being added. It's a mission to try and find where we're actually going for it. Correct method is, I'll show you now. So I've got a reference file here called 3D Joinery, which I'll be sending to your team today, Di. I'll transition it into the reference material folder for you to use. If you go to floor plan notes in this reference file, here you'll have a template of some of the most common cabinetry configurations for Urban Edge, for the island benches, also for cooktop spaces, pantries, oven towers, microwave provisions, linens, robes, broom closets, all modeled in 3D. And then you also have some of the vanities in 3D modeled as well. So your first step, you would need to go to your master, go to your plans, go to ground floor joinery plan, and you'll turn on the layer the section elevations layer. So sections, elevations. No. So we'll turn on all layers for now, just so we can find it. There we go. And what layer is this on? This is put on the Joinery viewports ground floor. Perfect. So you'll find some of the older masters will have it set on the sections elevations layer. The newer ones, like this one here, will be on the Joinery viewport elevations. Ground floor. Turn that on. So at the moment, we're using the current masters are set up using section markers for the joinery. We'll continue that method for now until the brand new version of the masters are released, where it's been fully set up using internal elevation markers correctly. What you'll do is you can either copy the properties of one of these existing elevations, or if you had a job where you've completely reconfigured and you've need to redesign it and put new markers in altogether, in the reference file, up the top here, you'll find a template of all the markers of the internal elevation joinery views that you can use. The benefit of using these section markers apart from, instead of using, let's say, the internal elevation markers, these are quite easy, much easier to amend. So if you need to extend it, you can move your internal elevation away if you need to. You can shift it. You can extend the marker if you need to. One moment. Sorry, Di, 1 moment, Di. Sorry, I was having a bit of technical difficulties. So you can extend it, same as you would any section marker or any internal elevation marker. The marker can be stretched. Sorry, 1 moment, I just having a bit of issues with the mouse. It's lagging because I'm sharing screens and all that stuff. Di, I'm going to put a hold on the meeting for about 2 minutes. I'm just going to transition to another monitor. Bear with me 1 moment, Di.
Nó nhạy quá. Nhỏ này đến 3 lần mới đạt rồi. Nhưng mà giờ gian nó đến đây được. Không chịu đổi. Vì nó không chịu đổi. Không, em không thấy có chuyện. Em xài quay này lên. Thôi mình thử là hát một cái nặng cái từ thái đi đó. Tại vì cũng do này dụng.
Sorry, Andrew, you are on mute.
Sorry, Dara, I'm just trying to get a connection to a new setup for the screen so that I can screen share so the team can see.
Yeah, yes. No worry.
Khi đừng đắp nó lên không bút ra
Okay.
khi đừng đắp nó lên đang trên xong cái vô đi luôn.
All right. Sorry about that, Dara.
No problem.
So we'll continue on. So this is basically like an internal elevation marker where you just select it and you can extend it. So for these particular masters, where we have two versions of the Urban Edge masters, we have one where it has the plaster shown on the internal walls, on the stud wall, and ones without the plaster finish shown on the plans. We always, for the internal elevation markers, we want to draw them up to the finish. So if we had plaster on this wall, so for example, this elevation marker here, I'll select it. Can you see this faint? You can see this faint green line coming down. That's the extent of our view. At the moment, the extent of our view is coming 10 mil off our stud wall, which we know is our plaster tolerance. If this wall had the plaster finish drawn on it, you'll just finish this hard up against the plaster. But because we don't have plaster, we're finishing it 10 mil off to account for the plaster finish. Okay. So we need to add a new elevation here. So we'll copy the properties of any of the elevation markers. And we will draw copy one of the elevation marker properties. And we'll draw a new one opposite the island bench, and it will face the rear island bench. Sorry, Dad, one moment, time. Sorry, Di. I'm going to put you on hold for about 5 minutes. I'm going to move back to my desk because where we're set up now, the connection's very poor. It keeps freezing Archicad. So bear with me one moment. Sorry.
Yes, yes. 5 minutes.
Chỉnh lại được thẩm quyền.
All right, sorry about that, Di. Can you hear me?
Mấy chiến thắng à?
Perfect. So, all good. You can hear me?
Yes, I do. Let's move on.
All right. My sound working? Can you hear me? Thumbs up?
Yeah, yes.
No?
You hear me? Rồi, xong rồi. Em muốn join. Đây. Xong rồi.
All right, perfect. Sorry about that. All right, this is much better because there was, apologies, was freezing a bit with the screen sharing in the other room. Okay.
Mình đi học nè.
I'll open up the files again. And screen share. That's much better. Okay, so we'll continue on where we left off. So when we're drawing a new internal elevation, we'll go to the joinery floor plan, where our internal views are. What you would need to do is you'll turn on your relevant layers. So goes into the boardroom. So come up. Yep, I can hear you now. Yep. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yes. Let's move
Sorry
on.
about that. I was moving on to my headset. There you go. That's much better.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll continue on where we left off. When you need to draw an additional internal elevation, we'll start off by turning on the relevant layers. So for 8 homes masters, you'll have your internal elevation marker. For internal elevations, you wouldn't really need to draw any new internals. This is mainly for ribbon edge. So for some of the newer masters, they will be on a joinery viewport elevation layer. So we'll turn on the joinery viewport for ground floor, and we'll turn this on. For the time being, what I'll do is I'll get current window settings so I don't have to constantly turn that layer on. When we're completely finished drawing our joinery, we'll hide that layer and then we'll get our current view settings again. I'll get current view settings to hide my layer. To keep my layer perfect. So I need to draw an elevation 5 now for the rear of this island bench. Previously, the team will be going to the kitchen elevation 1, and we'll be drawing it in line work on the other side. What we're going to do instead is use a completely new 3D elevation. So what I'll do is I'll so for this one here, I'll copy the properties of the internal, and then I'll draw a completely new one over here. So it is there, but it's on a different layer. So what we've drawn is already there. It's just hidden on another layer. So I'm just going to turn my hide some of the layers, the flooring. There we go. Also, so here, so this is our new layer that we've just drawn, the new viewport. If you find that it disappears like the one that we were doing, you'll just need to turn on hide your layers so that you can actually see the viewport. So what this is the extent. This is the extent of our viewport, which we can see behind it. So if I was to drag this just past the island bench and I open this viewport, what did I get? Yeah. And I open this viewport, all right, so open with current view settings. All I see is the island bench, the rear of the island bench. But if I also go back to the ground floor plan and see this line there, and I extend this past the kitchen, past this cabinetry here, and I open up my viewport again, you'll see the cabinetry behind it. So that is the extent of your view. How far into the house you want to see you want that 3D view to show. It's not necessary to show the cabinetry behind it because it's not going to tell us anything additional that we need. So what I will do, just to ensure that we're not confusing matters, we'll just show this just to here, because all I want to see is the rear of the island bench. So for this island bench, you'll find that it's not here yet. So we need to do its settings now. So where it says the ID name, you want to change it to kitchen. And it'll be kitchen 5. And it changes the name there. To find the actual viewpoint in the project map, so I'll select this first, then click on the project map on the side. If I open the view, it automatically, and you scroll down, you'll find it here, it's kitchen elevation 5. So we'll do like what we normally do. I can either save as save current view, create, and then if I go to my viewport, at the very bottom, it'll pop up at the bottom. Don't need that. It's just kitchen 5. Drag it up and drop it down. Okay. And that'll be kitchen elevation 5, and it'll be carry 5. There we go. Now we're consistent. We've got our new 3D. Everything's drawn. But the issue that we have currently is if I look at my rear island bench, see how that's showing just a bench top on the top? Nothing else. There's no end panels. There's no waterfall panels. But if I go to my front elevation, which is elevation 5, elevation 1, I've got a bench top with waterfall panel. So this means that, all right, you can create elevation 5, and then you're going to have to go in and redraw everything in 2D. Which, if you're using 3D to its fullest, we won't need to. And if I look at this, if I go to marquee, and I got all the lines, all the fills, and I drag this to the side, you'll see that what I have here is already drawn for us. So I've got my cabinetry at 450. So let's go in the dimension now 3D that's currently on the master. And then I'll show you how we actually manipulate it. So this here is a slab. End panel is a slab. My bench top is also a slab. So I've got 2 slabs for my bench top. I've got one that's 16 mil thick and one that's 20 mil thick. And then I've got another slab for my other end panel. With the slab on the floor plan, we can change this to be on my floor plan. I can change it to be 32 mil, 40 mil, whichever I need. This here, this mask is already set up with the same joinery that that's in our joinery reference file here. So you'll find on our joinery reference file, on segments, so you've got a waterfall end panel, which is just a slab at 40 mil thick. You got a 40 mil stone here. You have another bench up. So these are all slabs. For the cabinetry itself, here you got a object for your cutlery drawer. Also going 3D. It's your cabinetry drawer. It just doesn't have the bench top and it doesn't have end panels. We've got it set up for a pot drawer, a double cabinet, a single cabinet, open shelf, 32 mil end panel, 16 mil end panel. These are pretty much, essentially, you can create a whole kitchen, even your laundry, with just these items right here. We can mix and match and make as long an island bench as we want, whatever we need. I'll drag this to the side here. So if I look at this, this one's already been, this is using the same materials, the same objects. It's a double cabinet is one single item. The single cabinet is its own single item. Pot drawers are their own single item. Obviously, these are the opening lines for our pot drawers, for our cabinets, okay? So what we'll do, we'll amend this to show the 40 mil waterfall panel. We can do it two ways. We can edit because we know this mask is already set up for it, where it's got a slab here, it's got all our slabs already present. We can adjust the existing, or we can copy it and do it from scratch. So for this one, we've got our slab was already here. What I'll do is I'll drag my slab off temporarily. Move our, I'm just going to hide my flooring again. So for some reason it's showing as hidden. So what I'll do is I'll delete the two end panels, the two 16 millimeters end panels. And from my reference file, I'll copy the waterfall end panel. So this is set to cabinetry tone. We'll put it to cabinetry. So we'll position it now. So first thing I want to do is I want to check how big my island bench is. My island bench is, I think it looks like it's 1200. It's 1200 island bench. So then we'll go to our waterfall panel, and I'll send this out. Because at the moment 600, I'll send it another 600 mil. 1200. I can copy it across. This right now is showing just a void. We're going to get rid of the void because we're going to put some cabinetry in there. There are times where you might need to hide the flooring just for temporarily. There we go. What we can do is there's our slab for our bench top. All right, so if I go to kitchen elevation 1, the 20mm slab, I'll delete that. My 40mm slab, I'll make this 40mm, because that's the 20mm slab for our bench top. I can make it 20mm instead. And then because I know that's 20mm, my bench top height, I'll just adjust the height of my bench top. Done. So my overall height will be 866. And then what I can do is I just can go 1, 2, and then change my overall height to be 866. That's it. My dishwasher space is actually an object. There's an actual object for it. So you've got your heights all adjusted for these cabinets. I'm just dropping about 4mm, go to ground floor. Grab my slab. And I put it in place. And since we cut back by 5mm on this side, there you go. So I'll go back to kitchen elevation 1. I can drop my height. There we go. We've got our island bench drawn with a waterfall panel in 3D. If I go to elevation 5, it's in 3D. My waterfall panel's already drawn. Go back to ground floor. I now want to put some cabinets at the back. What we can do is we can just, because this is already set up, I'll just mirror this double cabinet. And then we'll see what our space is. What's our space in between? 2560. So we'll make it 2500. So we'll do 500 cabinets. So we'll make this 1 meter. Because we're trying to stick to modular sizing, okay? So with cabinetry, after I draw this, I'll show you what the modular sizing is. So we're going to do this with with a cabinet and an overhang on the end. And then I want a single cabinet, which is that one there. Next one. And this one will be 500. There we go. Okay. So I'm only going to have an overhang on this one side, just here. And then now I'll go into my reference file, this one here, and I'll copy my 60mm end panel. Okay. And I'll set it to my joinery layer. Hard up against, so that there's my end panel. Go back to elevation 5. Lower it so it's at the correct height. Go back to my joinery ground floor. That end panel. I know that I've got a, I'll have a void here as well. And this void is, it's a 300 mil overhang because that's our maximum overhang, 300 mil. Overhang here. So you can select your end panel and adjust what your, we just want to see it as line, as dash line. Short as dash because we want to see it on dash on the floor plan. There we go. Now there's our joinery drum with cabinets at the back. Go to elevation 1. Here's my cabinet. And elevation 2. I'll go to elevation 5. Here's my end panel. There's my overhang. Perfect. Now the good thing with doing it in 3D, if I copy the properties of my dimension marker and you dimension the base of it, do you recall last training session how we discussed live dimensions versus static dimensions? How the little circle dictates if it's a live dimension. This is a live dimension if you dimension to the base of it. There we go. That's a single cabinet there, there, there. And I dimension it. But if, for instance, I want to make this a bigger cabinet, if I want to change this from being 1 meter to 800, I'll change this to 800 wide. I'll change this to be 400. I'm making changes. We're reducing our kitchen by 200 mil, or 300 mil is a reduction to the kitchen, and I need to make changes. I've just reduced the 3D object size from being 1 meter to being 800. Reposition it. Reposition. And reposition it. And then on the floor plan, we'll extend the on the. See how my dimensions are already adjusting. Sorry. Not more. Right, moving up more. I'm going to move this to be in line with the base cabinet, sorry. In line with the cabinet, there we go. So now I've got a 400 mil cabinet, 800 mil in 3D. If you see this line down at the bottom, all that is if I go to the settings of the cabinet, this 2D representation, you're just showing which side you want your the lines on in the elevation. So if I go click this button, it shows you what the elevation view looks like. See how there's a line there? If I just hit that one there, or that one, we'll go here, get rid of that line, done, and we'll do the same thing for this cabinet. This one over. not working on this one. That's fine. We'll, for this here, we can just put a fill over it. But that's essentially the 3D joinery. Go to the ground floor plan. I can extend this out until I hit my other room panel. That joinery is done. So front elevation's 3D, the back's in 3D. If you ever need to make any structural changes to the job, like reconfigurations or whatever it is, we can do it easily. So that one goes there. There we go. So we can adjust it how we need to by putting in our by making any of these adjustments we need, by selecting the object, changing the sizes in the 3D here. If it's set up once, if I was to send you, let's say, a tender variation where they've completely reconfigured the kitchen, all you would need to do is elevation 1. If we're adding making this into a double cabinet, copy the properties, inject the properties, there's my double cabinet. Put it into place, move my M panel and extend my 3D. And there's my M panel. There's my extended bench top. And it will adjust on every single view. Our markers in the center, this is just an object. You put it in place. Put it in place and that's it, done. This same as standard, just a line. If we need to do the fingerless rail system, if you select your cabinet, go to the cabinet settings. Under the settings tab, if you go to knobs, that's your handle. We can select to show one or not show one. If we don't want to show one because they've got the fingerless, turn it off. If they're changing to a vertical handle in the variation that says provide a vertical handle, same thing. You go to knobs, go to handle. You put in a handle. Under placing, you'll say vertical, and it shows it as a vertical handle. Very simple. For us to make these types of changes. So we don't need to provide fills if we've got it in 3D, we don't want to see fills on top of it, because if I was to make any structural changes on the floor plan, but let's say I need to move this island bench is being shifted across by 500 mil. Well, let's say I'm shifting the island bench across a meter because we're shifting everything. I'm doing a reduction, I have to shift it. If I was to go to my front elevation, my viewport, I'd have to shift my viewpoint as well. I'll show you so you can see what look happens when I shift my front elevation. So I'll shift my viewpoint across from my front elevation. Kitchen 1. If I had my 3D where it was originally, my 3D wouldn't reflect the 2D line work or the fills, wouldn't reflect the changes that's happened behind, because I've only done it in 3D. You then have to go in and amend the plans because of the 2D elevations. If I show you elevation 5, I've moved it across. My dimensions have moved across. With any 2D line work that we've added to it for like the door openings or the labels, you'll just select it and drag it across very quickly. This makes amending joinery so much quicker and so seamless. It also ensures we don't have any errors where our floor plan doesn't match the internal elevation. And this is the exact same method you would use for your bathroom. So bathroom, like the first floor powder room, This is all like fills on top of fills on top of fills on top of fills. So whenever you have to make a change, you spend much more time playing around with the fills and trying to get the wrong item and right thing to modify, versus just editing the 3D object on the floor plan and trusting that it'll edit on the 2D on the elevations as well. Is there any questions so far? Want me to go over any of the settings or anything like that? Any questions?
hỏi Tôi có hỏi gì ra đây không?
Có hỏi gì không?
Ông năm sơ bữa cho hôm nay đặc biệt đó.
Arif,
Yes.
so will you send us this reference file for 2D?
Yeah, I'll be sending this today. I'll put this in the reference. So I'll show you where I'll be located. So all our training material, I'll be putting it in this location. So in PG data, production drafting, training material.
Yes.
So at the moment you've got the training that I had with my team and our building surveyors here. You've got the PowerPoint there already, and there's also the video recording of it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a clearer video recording, but this is the recorded session from our RESCO training. So once you have a look at watch the video and read through the presentation, please compile any questions you have regarding this presentation here, and I'll go through it with you. I'll go through it with you personally. But I'll be putting the reference material here, so the 3D joinery reference file, which is this one here.
Yes.
So it's got also some 3D objects for like the bathtub in 3D, some of the different basins that we have, toilet roll holders in 3D, towel rails, glass shelves. All these items are in 3D already. Our sinks are 3D. So these are all 3D objects for it. We've got the overheads drawn in 3D. So what I've done for the base cabinet and island bench, so I'll do the exact same thing for your overhead. So if I was to draw in a section marker here, just for an example. Let's say, for an example, I'll draw a section marker just as for an example, open section. Exact same scenario. These are double cabinets using objects. That's an object. The oven's an object. The wall behind it is a fill with an object with a. We've actually got a tile object as well. End panels, the overheads, the bulkhead is an object. Everything is modeled in 3D. So if I was to view this in 3D. Once it finishes loading. Sorry about the delay. We're having a bit of issues with the system in the office at the moment. So these are all drawn. These are all 3D objects we've got. So they've all got the different lengths extending it. You can mix and match as much as you need to. But along with this, I'll also be providing you with a couple of documents for your reference as well. So, I've got 3 documents here. So 2 of them are, one of them is the 8 Homes Cabinetry book, which I believe you guys already see when you draw your terminals. The other one is the Urban Edge Cabinetry book. So this one, I believe you've already seen this in various forms when you're doing your contract drawings. That's what the clients will tick off. Then you also have the Urban Edge version. This is the Urban Edge version, which you may not have seen as much. That has all the different cabinet options for Urban Edge. The oven towels, robes, the different vanity options for Urban Edge, laundry upgrades for Urban Edge. And then this document, have you received this document already? Have you seen this document before? If not,
No.
okay. So what this is our modular sizing. So all our cabinetry, our kitchen cabinetry, laundry cabinetry, ensuites, bathrooms, everything, all come in specific set sizes. Each individual unit is a set size. So if I was to go into the job, yep, I'll go to the reference file. So each individual unit is a set size. So apologies. So stops freezing. So each individual item is a set size. So hot drawers come in set sizes. Double cabinets come in set sizes. Single cabinets set sizes. Cutlery drawers, overheads, everything is a specific set size. In this modular sizing, if you have to make any modifications to the kitchen joinery, let's say we're extending the kitchen, we're reducing the kitchen, we're adding, we're removing a oven and putting cabinets instead, whatever it may be, this will be your go-to when it comes to what size your cabinet should be. So for a cutlery drawer, our cutlery drawer only comes in 450mm wides. If you have to do a double door base cabinet, like the island bench or the cooktop area, or if you're adding in a double base cabinetry to the walk-in pantry or butler's pantry, single door cabinets come in these sizes. So 150, 350, 450, 550, 600 max for a single door. When it comes to a double door floor cabinet, they come in 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 meter, 1100, 1200. There are no 50mm increments for double doors. We can't do 650, 750, whatever it is. Overheads, same situation. These are just minimum sizes for overheads. For a single door, that it's a lot for an increased high single door. Again, single door. So these are for different heights, so between 717 to 818, 817 to 918, so on and so forth. Double doors, same thing, 6, 7, 8, 9 a meter, 1100, 1200. For overheads. And then if we go to fridge space cabinets, So we can get up to 1100 or even 1300 for the fridge space. With the cabinet upstairs, you'll have 3 cabinets. Where are we? Upright cooker spaces, sort of 9-10 space. You have, where is it? Dishwasher spaces, end panels. So our end panels get up to 100 mil thick maximum. So when we have to increase an end panel to make sure that the cabinetry works, the max we can go is 100 mil. Anything more than that, and we can't get it the rest of the cabinetry to work modular, then you'll have to think strategically. Would you reduce your end panels down to 32 millimeters? Reduce the cabinetry, whatever you need to, add a void in, add a double stud wall, add a void. We got to think outside the box to try and get these items to work with modular sizing. So we can't keep scrolling down. There's pot drawers. So a 2-door pot drawer, 3-door pot drawer. The minimum size for a pot drawer is 600 mil. The maximum size is 900 mil. So when you're doing any kitchen modifications, this is always very good to have handy, even if you want to print it off and have it on the side as like a little reference for you. When you're modifying the kitchen, just quickly look at it and refer to it to the sizes. So that way your kitchens, your laundries, everything always comes up modular sizing. So I'll put all that for you in the training material location, the drafting training location. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. Okay. Any questions?
No, Andrew.
No?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you have any questions regarding any jobs in particular or anything, please feel free to email me, and I'll help you. If you have any trouble with trying to get any modular sizing to work, please feel free to email me, and I'll guide you if it needs it on the best way to approach it.
Yes, sir.
Not a problem. All right. Thanks, Dean. And we'll try and set up another training session soon to go over a few other items. No problem. Have a good one, everyone.
All right, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hope you have a good day. Xong rồi đó.
Thank you.